Hey Plant Besties, do you have a Monstera Deliciosa that you need to repot? Well, this is my Thai Consellation and she surely needs a repotting because there's actual roots growing out of the drainage hole. So this technique applies to all Monstera Deliciosa, otherwise known as a Swiss cheese plant, across the board. Let's get our soil mixture ready. So the soil mixture I recommend is airy and chunky, and it holds some moisture, not ones that are dense. And that's because Monsteras come from the tropical rainforest of Mexico and Central America, like Panama, where there's a lot of decaying leaf matter and decaying animals. And the soil mixture I use is equal parts of potting mix, orchid bark, perlite, horticultural charcoal, and worm casting. The main aim is to create an airy, chunky mixture, so you can replace the perlite with something like Pumice or Vermiculite, which is absolutely fine. And then I'm also going to use today a moss pole, which I created at home to actually attach the Monstera to the actual pole. Now, if you don't have a moss pole, you can substitute it for something like cocoa coir pole or something like a plank of wood or even a trellis. The main thing is to use a moss pole to attach the Monstera to the pole so it grows upwards, and that's how to create more of those bigger leaves. And the one I'm using today with the pot, it's actually 2 pot size bigger than my Monstera pot that's in at the moment. And the reason for that is that Monsteras tend to grow quite fast, and the root system is actually quite a big root system. So I don't want the hassle of having to repot my Monstera again in 12 months. I rather have a bigger pot so that my Monstera, I only need to repot it every 2 or 3 years. And the pot I'm using today is a self-watering pot. Now, if you're new to growing Monsteras, then I wouldn't recommend a self-watering pot. I'd recommend something like a nursery pot that has a lot of drainage holes out of it, because this will help to prevent from overwatering a Monstera. Now, I've grown Monsteras for many years now. I'm so used to how my Monstera grows and what the watering requirements are, so I'm quite fine with using a self-watering pot. But if you're new, definitely a nursery pot with a lot of drainage holes. Now, once I've done that, I'm going to remove my Monstera out of the original nursery pot. And to be honest, it was quite difficult to remove this Monstera out of the pot because it was extremely root bound. And honestly, I should have repotted my plant a long time ago, at least 6 months ago. I was just too lazy. And I had to really put effort into squashing the actual sides of the nursery pot and removing the plant out of the pot. And so there was collateral damage. So there was quite a few roots that were broken during the process. But Monsteras do have a tough root system and a large root system. So if you break a few roots during the repotting, don't worry about it. It's not going to harm the plant. It's going to still be absolutely fine. I removed all the old pot and the old soil. I also loosened up the root system because the center part of the roots of this plant was so root bound. It literally had no soil left. So I loosened it all up. Once that was done, I popped the moss pole to the back of the pot. I popped the plant in the center of the pot and attached it to the moss pole. I also made sure that the back of the Monstera is attached to the moss pole and not the front of the Monstera. I just used some plant tape to actually do this, and there was also already soil that I already initially popped in the pot, and the soil was actually partially moistened beforehand as well. So once that's done, I backfill the pot, leaving about 2 inches or about 3 centimeters of soil from that rim of the pot because I don't want soil falling out of the pot. And then I shake or shimmer the pot and this helps to remove air pockets in the soil, and also I use a stick to go around the pot to help remove air pockets. You definitely don't want air pockets left in the soil, because air pockets are areas where the Monstera can't gain any water, can't gain any nutrients. So you want to get rid of that. Once that's done, I actually pot my plant in the area where it receives a lot of indirect sunlight. I don't put my Monstera, especially this Thai Consellation, where it has a lot of chunky areas of creamy white variegation in direct sunlight, because that actually can burn the plant. So I popped in an area where it receives indirect sunlight virtually all day long, and I didn't water the plant immediately because the actual soil was already pre-moistened. The actual moss in the moss pulp was also pre-moistened as well, so it doesn't actually need to be watered straight away. And this helps to actually prevent the broken roots from actually rotting. So once that's done, I leave it to dry, completely dry, and then I'll give it a thorough watering, and I'll re-moisten the moss as well. Once that's done, I just go through the normal routine of taking care of a Monstera. So if you did enjoy this content, then don't forget to help your crazy plant lady out Min and hit the likes button and subscribe to the channel. Now, if you repot your Monstera a different way, I'd love to read about it in the comment section down below. And if you do enjoy this content, watch this video here where I show you how to set up your Monstera for success. I'll see you next video.